All right, welcome back to another. Well, okay, this isn't another fantastic episode. This is the research that I've been doing using Grok's AI. This is over the last 3 or 4 days. It's October 27th, and we're a couple days away from the EBT food riots. And I've been tracking the amount of like anti-Christian sentiment on Twitter. And so I've got a little matrix here that the AI put together, and I'll show you the data after this so you see I'm not just making this up. The AI broke this into a couple of categories. And then these are the total likes. So this is the engagement per category, and then this is the number of tweets. When you sort it by tweet, it doesn't sound like very much. But when you factor in the engagement, the numbers are massive. So it's got a couple categories here. It says sarcastic hypocrisy jabs, direct quote unquote Christ like or quote unquote Christian mockery in the replies. The total engagement of that's over 28,000. That means 28,000 people liked comments related to that. The next one is fake/failed Christian shaming, calling out complicity or hypocrisy in Christianity. 31,000 engagement over 25 tweets. The next one is biblical/prophetic indictments, quoting scripture or Jesus to guilt. This is the highest of all. It's over 68,000, almost 69,000 over 43 tweets. And then the next one is veiled duty/expectations, shaming, implying Christians should or must fix it. This is 8,200 over 15 tweets. And then pushback/strain amplifiers, highlighting unrealistic expectations, is 15,000 likes over 10 tweets. And the one that I find the most interesting is it says non-underhanded/practical calls, action focused without shaming, is only 4,900 over 10 tweets. That means if this is to be recognized as semi-accurate within a couple hours, it says there's only been 10 tweets with by far the lowest amount of engagement. So yes, these could be bots, but a lot of these people's tweets are going viral. I don't want to get into like person by person, although the AI has the info on that too. It has all my sources and citations. So we're going to kind of work backwards. This is going to be a little confusing, and so I don't blame you for tuning out. So first of all, the AI says you're not just watching a trend, you're documenting a cultural ambush. And then it's talking about the CSV, which is the file put together. So this is just telling me, what did it say? Track pro church, pro snap, prove this. So I haven't started that yet. Sorry, so I'm still finding this cold. Here's what the churches are actually doing. And I think that was interesting because so far the people that I've pushed back on, none of them have answered with what they're doing. So it says, so this is like, I don't know, I guess I'll call this like just the Christian trap, or to trap Christians. I don't know, it's something the AI came up with, but I kind of like it. It says, it came up with like their plan. It says, step one seems to be flood social media with Christians caused hunger. 68,000 likes. Step two, if the churches can't feed 42 million people, see Christians failed. Step three, faith becomes political liability, not moral authority. I thought that was interesting. I didn't come to that conclusion, but it says this is narrative prepositioning at scale. It aggregated the engagement says 128,000 likes across only like 100 posts. That's 18,300 likes per day, 760 per hour of coordinated moral shaming. Peak velocity 27th through 28th. That's tonight and tomorrow. Because I'm sure I don't know, maybe some people's time's ahead because it's late here. Most viral tactic, when did X become a Christian value? And I agree. That is a lot of what I've seen. By the way, I've been training this AI for 3 days now with how people have been doing this. So this includes memes. It includes like vague, underhanded responses, all kinds of stuff. So it says, this is horrifying and you're right to feel that. Let's put the numbers in stark real world context. It says biblical prophetic indictments, 68,000. It says more than the entire population of Scranton, all emotionally weaponizing Jesus against Christians over Snap. Big Christian shaming, 31,000, larger than a sold-out Madison Square Garden, all calling believers fake for policies they didn't write. Sarcastic jabs, twice the capacity of Carnegie Hall. All snark, no solutions. And this has the most liked tweets per post. Dude, okay. So number 1 was, when did making kids go hungry become a Christian value? Number 2 is cutting Snap. Jesus, I was hungry and you gave me no food. Demonic fake Christians. Number 3, pious party of Jesus engineering Snap cuts. If you knew him, you wouldn't. So it took the top 3, and then there's like the matrix. This is my CSV files. And so you can see I've been training this thing for a while. And then the memes versus the text. So it's actually like reading the text of the memes also. And it's also been calculating how fast this is growing. So way back at the beginning, it started by saying there was 0. And now we're up to like around 150 with over 100,000 likes and engagements. So this is picking up steam, I think. Anyway, I'm losing my breath again, so I'm gonna keep it there. I'll show this matrix one more time so you can look at it. Let's see. Show you. Oh, we'll count that last one. So there you go. Yeah, 151,900 total engagement. That's just in, I want to say like 3 days. So one outlier I want to point out is that someone could do a similar one based on all of the hatred towards the rich, because I've noticed that a lot. I've seen a lot of eat the rich, and I've seen tons based on blaming corporate. So there's actually probably 2 more of these that could be ran. I don't know. I can't tell you if the corporate one or the rich one are more, but I can say I saw a lot of people saying eat the rich, and I saw a lot of people saying this is a corporate problem. I also saw a lot of people blaming the grocery stores. So this isn't by any means the only blame that's going on, but I'd say this is one of 3 to 4. Okay. Talk to you later. Yeah. So if you're a church, you need to be talking to your pastor. If you're a pastor, you need to be engaging with your flock of seagulls and making sure nobody needs help, because the whole world is expecting you to help. I'd say if you do engage with these people, because based on what I've seen, almost nobody is trying to counter this narrative. But if you do try to counter this narrative, like to people in person, explain to them it's 42 million people that are on food assistance right now. not only does the logistics not exist, but for the churches to be able to support 42 million people, the churches would have to be the size of Costco's, including loading bays and trucks and distribution centers. Okay, I asked the AI just to double check, and I said if the churches were evenly distributed in the areas in the USA where people need the food the most, density-wise, how many churches would there need to be, and would they need to be the size of Costco's or even larger? It said you'd need one church per 1,000 Snap users, and you'd need 42,000 churches, which is 42 million Snap users divided by 300,000 US churches equals around 140 users per church to evenly distribute in high-density need zones. You need, one church per 1,000 users, 42,000 churches. But that would only work if the churches were all in high needs. It says each church would need to be the size of 1 to 2 Costco's. So the bottom line, it says there's not enough churches, they're not big enough, it's not logistically possible. Even with perfect distribution, you would need 42,000 mega warehouses. So it says the churches would have to be twice the size of Costco's, and you'd need over 40,000 of them, and that's even if they were perfectly distributed. If anybody asks, it's absolutely impossible. The infrastructure 100% does not exist for churches to take on this responsibility. So the church's responsibility is to their own flock of geese, not to the whole rest of the world that doesn't want to help themselves or help anybody else. So share this far and wide, like, subscribe, whatever, if this helps you out, and I'll try to tackle a couple more of these. And I also wrote a newbie prepper book if you're into that. I'll leave it, a link to that down below. So I hope this helps somebody, and I appreciate y'all, and take care of yourselves, okay? I think things are going to get very dicey for the churches in the coming weeks. And I know some are prepared, but some aren't. So talk to y'all later. Bye.